Welcome to the newest platform to hear the stories of the St. Leo Lions. Established in 1889, St. Leo has been called home from a diverse community pursuing a higher education while competing at some of the highest levels of Division II athletics. I'm Christy Lear, Manager of Athletic Communications. When I first moved to the Tampa Bay area to work at St. Leo in 2017, I was really encouraged by the variety of languages and diverse subcultures which filled the campus of St. Leo. It was so powerful. It seemed almost too obvious to start this platform in order to share some of the Lions stories with you. The St. Leo Athletic Department houses so many unique stories, which has crafted this ultra-competitive Division II school today, which is home to the Lions. This is Stadium Stories from St. Leo University. Hello and welcome to Stadium Stories. I'm Christy Lear, Manager of Athletic Communications, and on today's show, we have St. Leo Director of Sports Medicine, Susan Cross, aka Super Suze. Suze, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Christy. This is really exciting.
You've had a roller coaster of a year as one of the main contacts to help St. Leo Athletics get through a pandemic. Congrats. How are you feeling?
Thanks. The last year's certainly been all of the things, and I know I'm not alone in saying this, but we really have had a tremendous amount of support from start to finish with our university administration, so have to give them kudos to really help us get through the last year. But it is extremely refreshing to be able to take a step back, and I think the real winner in this is my dog. She's won the lottery with me having a much slower schedule this summer and being able to work remotely here and there.
Does your dog have a name?
Yes, her name is Emma.
Emma. All right, so we're winners with Emma. Well, before we jump ahead to all things St. Leo sports medicine happenings, and we'd like to get to know you, take us back a little bit to the beginnings of your career in sports medicine. Were you a student athlete yourself, or did you just want to always be in the training room, figuring out how the body works and how to help heal correctly?
Yeah. So I actually did play sports. I did Pee Wee magnet soccer, when I was 5, learned very quickly. That was my peak. So in middle school and high school, I just stuck with field hockey. I really enjoyed it, but knew I was never going to pursue it at the collegiate level, which is fine. So Super Suze was actually born when I was in high school. The nickname just kind of started. I remember it being on a sweatshirt for our high school mascot. And I really just shadowed my athletic trainer for my last 2 years when I was a junior and senior. I helped wherever and whenever I could. I still had a lot of friends that played on the varsity teams. And so thankfully, I just always knew that this is what I wanted to do. I think about it kind of often that most people are not as lucky that as they go through their early education that they don't know what they want to do, but it was always the direction. And I am really grateful for that.
That's awesome. And you're an alumnus of James Madison University. How did that experience prepare you for your role at St. Leo?
Yeah, go Dukes, man. I am a proud JMU alumni, especially after our softball run at the Women's College World Series this year. It's really cool to see so many people now get a glimpse of the JMU that I know and love. And the athletic training education program at JMU always stood out to me. They had some great numbers statistic-wise as far as their graduation rate and where they were placing people. And it was really just the perfect fit. The entire dedication that the sports medicine staff took kind of preparing you to become a professional clinician was just amazing. I got to work with some amazing people who are still wonderful colleagues and friends, and really just felt prepared for wherever I was going next.
So the big question, why or what do you love about sports medicine?
Yeah, it's definitely a special umbrella. While we're in school, we like to say we do a lot of things on a very superficial level, which doesn't sound great, but it really makes us extremely versatile. I'm really big on relationships, and I think that's one of my favorite things about this umbrella of sports medicine is that we can create the relationships with trust, and it's all focused around athletics. Now, not all athletic trainers work in the collegiate setting, but for me, that's my niche. And I really love being advocates for our athletes, our patients, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally. I mean, where else do you get to watch such a high level of athletic excellence and generally have a lot of fun?
Yeah, totally. St. Leo and Tampa, Florida, specifically, I think Seminole Heights, has been your home since 2011. After a decade in the green and gold, what do you love about working with the Lions?
Yeah, man, 10 years. I got a Facebook notification that last month, 10 years ago, Tampa, I'm coming for you. So that's crazy. Some days I feel like I'm still just starting out as an intern all those years ago. Others days I'm like, oh yeah, it's been a while. But I think the biggest thing is it's been just a gift to see the university and the department grow so much over the last decade in the classroom, on the fields. We've added programs, we've added staff. So I guess it's not really just one thing, it's the culmination over the last decade.
That totally makes sense. In addition to your role in sports medicine, you are also the advisor for the SAC committee, the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, where you get to know your student athletes outside of a variety of injuries or ailments. Could you tell us more about your role with SAC and the organization and what it does and why it's so important?
My role as the advisor for SAC, our Student Athlete Advisory Committee, is something that fell into my lap. Just a few years ago. I wasn't looking for it, but was really trying to dive a little deeper into the department itself. And we had some staffing changes, and it's been a welcomed addition. It's really interesting and different to see our athletes thrive in their sports as an athletic trainer, but being able to see them outside of their sports and being advocates for their programs, for our entire athletic department in St. Leo is just really special. Every year, we have a great group of representatives that are led by their peers in our e-board. So they select them, and really every group is different in the goals and the objectives. But in short, they're really just advocating for themselves as student athletes within the NCAA and within St. Leo. And it's really fun to see how much they work together to obtain their goals, based year after year.
Yeah, rules really can impact a lot. And it's great that you get to help them voice their voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is more of a trick question, but do you have a favorite team to work with, or is it SAC, or do they both complement each other?
Yeah. I get this question every single semester from every single team that I get the pleasure of working with. And I got to say, I'm super smart and I'm super safe with my answer. And it's all of them. Mm-hmm. Lord knows I thoroughly enjoy each of my teams. They're all so different, whether it's men's soccer with all my internationals and I learn new words and I get to hear different phrases and different cultures, or it's SLUSB who just brings the energy and they bring the funk, and any other team that we get to work with. I think SAC's a little bit different again because it's on and off the field, but still really enjoy it just the same in a total different capacity.
Okay, so let's have a trick question, but maybe still a tough one. Is there a team that is better at getting all their sports medicine paperwork in on time? Because there is a lot of paperwork easy to get done.
Yeah, the notorious paperwork. I'm sure the athletes cringe when they see arms hit their inbox. But no, this one's easy. I've got to give it to SLUSB. They're always the first ones to get it in before anybody else. And they make my life come August really easy. So 2 claps for you guys.
That's awesome. All right, so softball is winning that one.
Yep.
Maybe because Coach K went here, but I don't know if they used arms then, so softball it is. For an incoming freshman, if they have any questions about arms, because I didn't know what are you talking about arms, or anything sports medicine related, who or how should they contact someone?
Yeah, this is great. So our annual paperwork blast is soon going to be upon us. It's kind of hard to think already. And really, honestly, just make sure you read everything that is sent to you. We use the St. Leo email primarily, I would say 90% of the time for all communications. And just knowing that myself and the rest of our sports medicine staff are available. The coaches, God bless them, are aware of what needs to be done, but just skip the step and come right to us. That's probably the best information.
Gotcha. And if the freshmen don't know who us is, the staff directory is online, and St. Leo email is the way to go.
We make sure you can get a hold of us day or night, email, text.
Yes.
All things.
Well, speaking of freshmen, transitioning from high school to the collegiate level is a big jump. Do you have any advice for student athletes preparing to become a St. Leo Lion?
I think the first thing is loving Adidas and the green and gold. We love our brands here. But really, it's just such a cool transition to watch because everyone handles it differently. Some kids come straight from 20 minutes from home. Some kids travel across state. So I think just wherever you're coming from, whatever stage, always be willing to ask the question and always be willing to be a part of the solution. There's a lot of new accountability that can be hard to navigate in the classroom with your teams, with your roommates who you may or may not know. So if you don't understand something, just ask. We've got an amazing department of coaches and our entire department staff that just want you to succeed while you're here. And as awesome as we are, we're not mind readers. So you got to take that first step and start the conversation.
As a full year approaches for the first time since the 2018-19 season, do you have any advice for student athletes who are gearing up for the exciting year?
Yeah, it's really kind of hard to forget that we kind of blacked out 2020. And I think it's just advice that I was telling myself in looking over this question, and for everyone, is just to continue to buy into the process and be patient. We obviously have made some tremendous moves from where we were in the spring of 2019 and 2020. And we're obviously making moves toward returning to all things pre-COVID. So things are still going to be a little bit fluid. We don't have all the information that we'd like to make the decision. So just understanding that we want everything to be done the best way possible, and we've got to follow some rules, whether that's with the university and the NCAA. And we're going to buy into the process and be patient and just ask our athletes to do the same.
All right, one more office question before I ask about renovations. But how did the Whiteboard poll start? So for those that do not know, there is a small whiteboard in the trainer's room that often asks highly debated questions, such as sliders or flip-flops, starburst or jelly beans, dark phone mode versus light phone mode. So my question is, who comes up with these highly debated poll questions? And how do you participate in the poll? Like, do you have to go into your office, or I believe it's on Instagram as well?
Yeah, the poll of the day. This has been a really fun way to get to interact with our student athletes, and even some coaches will come marching into the office. This was about 2 years ago. A fellow colleague and I, shout out to Steve Durnack, we just started this with our athletic training students and the athletes that were in getting treatment at the time. So we would put the poll up and then they would vote. People would literally run into the training room to give us their vote. Some could be as simple like vanilla or chocolate, while others prompt a much deeper discussion. One of the most famous ones is a hot dog sandwich. You will get people's thoughts and explanations more than I think you want, but it's always really fun to see them get excited for the poll, see their answers, how they invested they are, their explanations. And so it has changed from the in-person whiteboard, partially thanks to COVID, to the daily Instagram story that I put on my personal account. So if anyone wants to play along or see what's happening, it's at the Super Sues. It's been going on for 2 years at this point. So coming up with the this or that can be a little troublesome. So we're always welcoming celebrity polls. Sometimes we will repeat another one just because. But yeah, they're really fun.
What was that famous one about a sandwich?
Oh, is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog a sandwich. That is a good one. Sorry, I just want to make sure people heard that because sometimes the audio can cut in and out.
After you guys listen to this, let us know.
Yeah. And what is your Instagram handle?
Yep. So it's at the THE Super Sues.
Awesome. There you go. Turning to our attention to what is to come, could you tell the listeners about the renovation to the sports medicine facilities in the Breezeway?
Yeah, this is really exciting. I think for university campus, new renovations and new things are great. When we got people coming to campus, especially within athletics, but for us with sports medicine, I feel like we've got our own HGTV reno going. I don't think we'll make it onto HGTV, but we're certainly going to try. The project's definitely in the prelim stages, and towards the end of the school year, we had some really encouraging conversations about the new space. The plan right now is for us to take over the 2 open classrooms at the front of Bowman that will house all the things our student athletes love to come in and see us for. So a lot more room for activities, which if anyone has been in our current athletic training room, it's kind of impressive how many we were able to fit in before COVID. So just really exciting. We're not really sure about the official timetable. We know things tend to take a little bit longer, but we're just really excited to be a part of the conversation and see what the end result is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they're putting in different restrooms in the Breezeway, and you guys get the whole classroom space. And yeah, it's going to be
really cool. I hope they do a time lapse. See.
Yeah, there you go, time lapse. Well, in addition to the reno, what else are you excited about for this year?
Yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to being able to devote more time and energy, mentally and physically, back to our student athletes when it comes to their healthcare and their safety. COVID allowed us to do the same thing, but not in our typical realm. So as thankful as I am for all of the new opportunities we were given to showcase what athletic trainers can do and our potential, just really looking forward to being there for all of our teams in the same capacity.
Thank you, Suze, for joining us for this episode of Stadium Stories.
Thanks, Christy. This was great.
Yeah, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in. I'm Christy Lear, and as always, go Lions. Lions fans, it's me again. Just wanted to remind you, as the 2021 fall season quickly approaches, to sign up for all St. Leo Athletics news releases and game recaps to be emailed to you directly. Subscribe at stleolions.com/subscribe. Again, that's stleolions.com/subscribe to receive a specific athletic program's releases or all the Lions news. Personalize your inbox at stleolions.com/subscribe. If you are on all the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, make sure you are following the St. Leo Lions account and their respective team accounts. Thank you again for tuning in to Stadium Stories from St. Leo University.